Music Theology 2, Lecture 14. They're still awake. They're doing well. And, well, here's some follow-ups, dealing with CCM and the ecumenical. We'll take an ecumenical look at CCM. See the dangers in how it's bringing Christians together through the music. Also, it's a spokes piece for that. In an interview with Christianity Today, Don Moen of Integrity Music said, "I've discovered that worship music is trans-denominational, trans-culture. It brings any denomination, and it bridges any denomination." That's the word. Yes. 20 years ago, there were many huge divisions between denominations. Today, I think the walls are coming down. In any concert that I do, I will have 30 to 50 different churches represented. Well, I guess that's something to brag about. Yeah. Ecumenical terms that permeate the CCM scene include anointed, the body, united, John 17, tolerance, non-critical love, judge not, no finger pointing. This is by David Cloudner. These are terms that identify the philosophy of the end times ecumenical movement. The end times apostasy is characterized by a rejection of strong biblical absolutes and reproof and doctrine, and by teachers who pamper instead of preach, who generalize instead of being specific, who are positive rather than negative, who build self-esteem rather than call for repentance. Someone read this.
Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long-suffering and doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. 2 Timothy.
Yes. That's what we're supposed to be doing, at least preachers. CCM is perfectly at home in a Roman Catholic retreat or a World Council of Churches conference, or a charismatic laughing revival meeting, or even a Southern Baptist church service for that matter. CCM is the music of ecumenical evangelism, as epitomized by the Franklin Graham and Louis Palau crusades.
And the guy in Walmart.
Billy Graham led the way in this earlier. Consider this description of, Billy Graham's 1997 crusade in San Antonio. It says this: more than 700 San Antonio churches representing over 50 denominations have joined together for the Grand Crusade, which hopes to attract South Texas youth with big-name Christian rock acts. Amy Grant, V.C. Todd, the Charlie Daniels Band, Michael W. Smith, Steve Green, and Jackie Velasquez. And a Saturday service just for kids.
Don't forget the balloons.
Yes. It's ridiculous. And skaters, they'll have a skate park set up. A typical Louis Palau evangelistic festival was described by CCM.com as follows. This was in Seattle in 2003. This is by this group, or this site. Musical expression spanning from southern fried rock to smooth soul, to explosive hip-hop swirl through a crowd of over 150,000 Seattle residents nestled within the spacious Merrimore Park on a beautiful summer afternoon. Opposite the stage, professional skaters perform death-defying stunts in front of teens accented by multiple piercings and an arsenal of tattoos.
They came to Wenatchee too.
Yes. That'll attract that type of little rat out of the sewer pipes.
Famous
Come out and look at it. Okay. What's that?
A famous actor, Baldwin or something, was going
Stephen
around.
Baldwin?
Yeah, his brother, one of the other ones.
Yeah.
He was going around with this, kind of organizing the skate thing.
Yeah.
He came to Wenatchee, I was there.
Yeah. There's plenty we can do to argue against that. I applaud them for trying to get the gospel if that's what they're trying to do. I always will applaud that. But to go into the realm of possible sin, skating isn't sinful, but this, all that you do to yourself to try and align yourself with that group, I don't know. You can argue that out, but that's not our point today. It's music. CCM was the music of the largest ecumenical charismatic conference of the last quarter century. This was New Orleans, 87. Wow. Which David Cloud, attended with press credentials. Approximately 40 different denominations and groups came together under one roof, including Episcopalian, Church of Christ, United Methodist, American Baptist, ELCA, PC USA, and dozens of others. 50% of those in attendance were Roman Catholics.
What?
Roman Catholic priest Tom Forrest delivered the closing message and brought the mixed multitude to their feet when he called for unity. "We must reach the world," he cried. "And we must reach it the only way we can reach it. We must reach it together."
Wow.
At those words, the people became ecstatic, leaping to their feet, shouting, stomping, speaking in tongues, dancing, and hugging one another.
Yikes.
This same priest, speaking at a conference I attended in Indianapolis in 1990, said he is thankful for purgatory because he knows that he will not go to heaven except through that means. Yikes.
Wow.
Obviously, he does not believe in the once-for-all sufficiency of Christ's atonement.
Right.
At the book sales area in New Orleans, one could purchase rosary beads and Madonnas to assist in one's prayer to Mary. Catholic Mass was held every morning during the conference. What held all this confusion together? How did they get all these groups together? Was it giving away money? Was it food?
Quilting.
Nope. Sorry. CCM. CCM. CCM is perfectly at home in the midst of such ecumenical confusion. I don't remember this one, but the 1996 CCM hit "Gather at the River" promotes the ecumenical theme. It says this: "Sometimes we don't see eye to eye. We don't agree. We don't know why. But Jesus prayed that we be one. For the sake of God's own Son, can we put away our differences? Lay down our pride? It's time we start turning the tide. Can't you, Brother Eric, just stop with all this legalistic judgmentalism?"
What, you mean Bible?
Yeah. Standing firm on the Bible, what happened? You're going to make a lot of enemies. This song is built upon the false ecumenical interpretation of John 17:21, which claims that the unity for which Christ prayed is an ecumenical unity of professing Christians that disregards biblical doctrine. Well, the context of John 17 destroys this myth. In John 17, the Lord emphasizes that the unity he desires is one based on salvation and truth. Because John 17:17 says, "Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth." So, back up here. It's not a unity that ignores doctrinal differences for the sake of an enlarged fellowship. John 17 is a prayer addressed to God the Father, not a commandment addressed to men. It's not something man needs to do. It's something God has already done. The prayer was answered 2,000 years ago. I wrote, it was a prayer specifically dealing with just that First Baptist Church of Jerusalem and no others, to be united within their group, their church. Note, too, that the ecumenical CCM song "Gather at the River" pretends that the doctrinal divisions between Christians are the result of pride. Lay down our pride and ignorance. We don't agree, we don't know why.
We don't know why.
We don't know why, we don't know what we're doing.
They don't read their Bible, so
Yeah. This conveniently overlooks the Bible's command about defending the faith and separating from error. Fight the good fight of faith. CCM's influence toward ecumenism is well stated by a man who at one time preached against it, Bob Larson. Larson, I used to listen to him on the radio. He's got books out against this type of stuff, and then things have shifted. He wrote, "Have you ever," this is the bad side of him, "have you ever seen a bunch of young people, be they Lutheran, Presbyterian, or Baptist, Charismatic, or Evangelical, setting aside their religious idiosyncrasies to jump and shout when Petra walks on stage? The shared experience will send them back to their own churches, less theologically exclusive. From that moment on, they are not of this world with all of its petty ecclesiastical divisions." At first when I read it, I thought he was being sarcastic about all and putting it down. Actually, he's saying we need to put aside all these silly divisions. Petra can bring it all together. He used to be totally against that stuff.
Wow.
There's not mere idiosyncrasies that divide these denominations, but serious doctrinal issues. Some of these are like this: the eternal security of the believer, believer's baptism versus infant baptism, spirit baptism as a part of salvation versus spirit baptism as an experience subsequent to salvation. Both of those are wrong, actually. And then premillennialism versus amillennialism, it goes on. Huge issues. In recent decades, Bill Gaither, I wrote, potentially the most influential CCM writer and performer of the last 30 years, has bridged the wide CCM world, it's wide, all the genres, he bridged it with that of Southern gospel music. The Gaithers frequently perform and record songs that present the ecumenical philosophy.
That's for the old people.
Yeah, it's kind of old. He's older.
The
Yeah.
kids are, you get the rock, and he's for the older hymn.
Yeah.
So they have both working.
Yeah. So he gets the older folks, those that are 35, 40 years old and older.
in that country.
So this song, Jesus Built This Church on Love, don't know it, from their Back Home in Indiana album. Here's some of the lyrics. Do you ever just get to wondering about the way things are today? So many on board this gospel ship, trying to row in a different way. If we'd all pull together, like a family, me and you, we'd come a lot closer to doing what the Lord called us to do. Yo. That sounds really good, yeah. So what's it saying there? And then it says, of course, Jesus built his church on love, and that's what it's all about. Trying to get everybody saved, not to keep anybody out. Ooh, nice little statement there. You're keeping people out
By following the Bible.
Yeah.
I have no problem if we all pull together.
Yeah, well, it's the right direction, right?
That's right.
Yes. Another ecumenical Gaither song is Loving God, Loving Each Other. They push back from the table to listen to his words, his secret plan before he had to go. It's not complicated. Don't need a lot of rules. This is all you need to know. We tend to make it harder, build steeples out of stone, fill books with explanations of the way. But if we'd stop and listen and break a little bread, we would hear the Master say, it's loving God, loving each other, making music with my friends, loving God, loving each other, and the story never ends. Making money off of you dumb people out there by millions of album sales.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, that's not the
really
song.
rich.
And as I keep singing, you're all going down.
Yeah. This Gaither song presents a sentimental ecumenical approach to Christian life and ministry that's simplistic and appealing to a modern crowd, but that is patently contrary to the Scriptures. So, online students, we're not supposed to get all together with everybody. John 17 is not a prayer trying to get everyone together. The body is a local body. It's never universal, all the saints. So if you believe that, I can see you trying to push for that, and the CCMers are calling it like they see it, but I see it totally different. We need to get together and close and united with our church brethren and sister, and try and do what God has called each church to do. And that's hard enough, just trying to be united there, much less every Christian on the planet, every Christian type religious group. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll finish in no time.
We already have a 10